Lake Resources has officially appointed its new CEO and Managing Director. Now, we're all familiar with the story surrounding LKE. There was a lot of uncertainty and a share price sell-off after Lake Resources' founding Managing Director, Steve Promnitz, left the company. There was a lot of questions about who would come in to replace him and what that meant for the Lake story moving forward. However, we all know about the underlying trends with the electric vehicle adoption and transition that's rapidly picking up pace, and of course, a significant demand for lithium around the world. So today we're going to unpack who Lake's new CEO and Managing Director, David Dickson, is. We'll talk about his background, but also some of the trends that came through from this appointment that were fascinating, not only for Lake Resources, but the broader lithium sector as well. And of course, at the end, we'll talk about the catalysts and what's up ahead for LKE's story. So to kickstart us off, Lake Resources have appointed David Dickson. He's got a significant wealth of experience. He's an industry leader, they've described him as, with over 30 years experience in engineering, construction, and EPC cost management across the energy sector. Now, something to remember as we go throughout this discussion is EPC, or EPCM, is a phrase that you can remember. So that stands for engineering, procurement, construction management. Now, these are sets of contracts that go out, particularly surrounding big, complex infrastructure projects. And it's important to understand because the ability to deliver these types of EPCM contracts are important. And this is directly what ties into David Dickson's experience and background, as we'll speak about. So just having an understanding about who Mr. Dickson is, he's an industry leader there with the 30 years of experience. He's got a proven track record in successfully delivering multi-billion-dollar resource projects. And this is important to understand, particularly as we talk about his background with McDermott, but working on some of these big projects across the space. And obviously we know that Lake's got their aspirational target, and this is really what they're focusing and honing in on, is by 2030, they want to reach 100,000 tonne per annum of lithium carbonate. So that's going downstream. Obviously, this is going to be a significant undertaking, but we know that the world needs lithium. Lake Resources are hoping to feed into that. So to be able to bring all of that together, it's going to take not only their Kachi Lithium project, which they're working on, and that's the nearest term in terms of being commercially ready, but they've got a number of other projects, 5 projects in total, that they're going to have to be able to bring together and really piece under this broader Lake Resources banner. And they're hoping that Mr. Dickson will be able to help to deliver that. His expertise will support Lake's rapid growth and its mission to become a leader in the supply of responsibly sourced, environmentally friendly and cost-competitive high-purity lithium. We know that Lake Resources will be aiming to leverage a direct lithium extraction process licensed from Lilac technology, and obviously ensuring their North and South American operations. And they spoke previously with prior announcements about how they're really honing in on their focus in the American region now. So this is a major achievement to have secured a CEO like David as Lake goes from project development to construction to become a major lithium producer. And this is one of those key trends that we'll talk about throughout the video as we see this transition from companies focusing, of course, on the development stage that many have been and really starting to move towards construction and ultimately production. I'd love to know your thoughts on it all as well. So drop in a comment and let us know what you've made of this news and what you think it means for the story. So in terms of David Dickson's background, as you can see here, Lake's executive chairman, Mr. Stuart Crow, who came into that executive chairman role after Steve Promnitz left, stated that David combines proven leadership experience and engineering expertise with a deep strategic understanding of off-taker and investor perspectives on energy supply chains. And this is important here. David knows all the major oil field services and EPCM contractors who are looking to expand into the renewable economy at a time when major projects are struggling to source this capability and support. Now, we know about, of course, the labour shortages on one side, but we also know about the real rapid rise of new projects in the renewable space. This is going to be a transition unlike anything we've really seen in terms of the clean energy transition, the focus on decarbonisation and the mandates from governments and the real focus from the broader society, and the need to bring these projects online rapidly means that there's going to be a shortage of contractors and companies that are really able to help to facilitate that. But David's able to sit between that and has that network there. So including those companies skilled in environmentally friendly drilling and re-injection are key to Lake expanding at scale. It's worth noting that a lot of the companies as well in the perhaps in the, say, oil field space or the fossil fuel space or in the other types of the sectors, they're going to be eyeing the new space in the renewables as that opportunity to continue to leverage the capabilities they have, but obviously in the fast and rapidly growing and emerging market. So Stuart Crow said that Mr. Dickson was a senior and experienced negotiator on major EPCM contracts, brought a senior commercial presence to the negotiation table. He said that Mr. Dickson's desire to join Lake demonstrates his confidence in the cutting-edge Lilac technology and the strong ESG focus, which will see Lake set a new standard for the lithium extraction and production industry. So his expertise links project delivery, leadership, technical knowledge, and relationships with key stakeholders across industry, government, and the investment community. And really, ultimately, it's about being able to bring together these projects and deliver them because they're a significant scale, and it's not going to be just one project. There's a range of them, particularly when you're going all the way downstream into lithium carbonate production. And so just having a look at David Dickson's background, currently operating as a senior advisor to a PE firm, Quantum Energy Partners. They're the leading global provider of private capital to responsibly source energy and energy transition, as well as the decarbonisation sector, and is an executive strategic advisor to a strategic investment firm, the Chatterjee Group. So he's obviously continued to have his eye on the energy space and that green energy transition. But really, the key experience here that's attracted a lot of attention and really underpinned his story was he spent 7 years as CEO of global engineering and construction firm McDermott. For anyone who's familiar with the engineering space or really the project delivery space, McDermott is a big name. At the outset, so at the commencement of his tenure, McDermott employed around 14,000 people with 20 countries in operation. But Mr. Dickson built a strong leadership team, steered the company into profitable new markets, struck deals with key customers such as Saudi Aramco, other companies like Shell as well. If you just want to read the list of McDermott's kind of contracts, these are big companies and massive projects. And he oversaw McDermott's merger with CB&I, and ultimately, throughout his tenure across those 7 years, grew the business to over 30,000 employees operating in over 50 markets. So that's obviously what's attracted the Lake's board and vision to David Dickson. He's got the experience of bringing together a range of projects at scale, and as Lake looks to move towards that 100k TPA, obviously they want to be able to deliver that, and also the focus as well on the green energy transition. Lake's got the opportunity to set a new global standard for producing clean, high-purity lithium at speed and scale at a time when lithium demand is growing rapidly. So this is really about why David Dickson was keen on the Lake Resources story. So he stated that to be part of that global energy transition and bring a crucial new technology into large-scale lithium production is an immense privilege. He's looking forward to bringing the experience to the role and building one of the companies of the future. So before we discuss the upcoming catalyst for the LKE story, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you've subscribed and turn your bell notifications on. We've got plenty of videos across the EV battery material space and lithium sector. Hit the like button as well. So we can see here some of the key catalysts themselves, obviously appointing the new CEO and directors. Lake Resources stated with this announcement that they're going to continue to build out their board of directors and other key capabilities in-house as well. Commencing the demonstration plant test work at Kachi. Obviously, investors will be eagerly awaiting insights surrounding the demo plant. There, further drilling underway. They've got a number of different projects, obviously all located with the lithium triangle. So it'll be fascinating to see what comes of that. And obviously, brine's being tested with a variety of extraction providers. There's probably a couple of others here as well that investors will continue to watch for. Obviously, the DFS, particularly with the elevated lithium prices that we've seen, but worth noting as well that there will be likely elevated costs coming as a result of it as well due to the inflationary pressures. And then also considering the fact of other offtake discussions and any insights surrounding that, or potentially the conversion of some of those towards binding moving forward. So it'll be fascinating to see how they emerge. I think what's clear to see and what's worth noting is that over the upcoming period, traditionally, particularly in this earlier stage of this EV transition, a lot of these lithium companies have been pure play lithium companies, and a lot of them have gone all the way from explorer, developer, through to construction and production. But as we know, as the space continues to emerge, as the pie gets bigger, some of these incumbent producers in the resources and commodity space are going to look to eye this space off. Now, how they get access to it, whether it's through M&A or other types of forms of access, it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate it. But it won't be surprising to continue to see new entrants entering the space. We saw potentially from the OEM side, Elon Musk discussing how, hey, maybe we've got to try to get exposure into the commodity space. Obviously, we saw Stellantis looking to get exposure with an investment into Vulcan Energy Resources, but also some of the companies in, say, the fossil fuel space, or perhaps the gold companies. They have these capabilities in-house. They've got the know-how, the processes, and the systems to bring large-scale resource projects online. So it won't be surprising to see them potentially try and get exposure moving forward. I'd love to know your thoughts on it all. Drop in a comment below. We've done a video just recently on lithium stock news, unpacking all of the recent news in the lithium sector. So we'll leave a link up above that you can check out after this one. A big thank you for joining us. For now, stay well and happy investing.